It's Iron Man versus Batman in a superhero Royal Rumble of tycoons. The battle between comic books' two billionaires is something that fans have wanted to see for years now, especially due to the rise in popularity of Iron Man's character thanks to the MCU's success up to Avengers Endgame. While it's one that will sadly not likely happen, there's nothing wrong with a bit of fantasy booking for fans of these characters. Both men are incredibly tech-savvy and have no problem creating as many gadgets and gizmos as possible to help them out in a fight. But both Ben Affleck's Batman of the DCU and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man also have had plenty of grit and personality which play a big part in their abilities as well. So, today we're going to see how they stack up against each other. Introduction. Batman, the brainchild of artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, made his debut in Detective Comics issue 27 in 1939. Underneath the iconic black suit, he is Bruce Wayne, a billionaire playboy who was tragically orphaned as a child and has since devoted his life to ridding Gotham City of crime. Iron Man, on the other hand, was crafted by the creative genius of writer Stan Lee, brought to life by writer Larry Lieber, artists Don Heck and Jack Kirby. Underneath the suit of high-tech armor stands Tony Stark, a brilliant inventor and wealthy industrialist who becomes Iron Man after a kidnapping incident. The self-proclaimed genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist brings a lot to the table, but he and the Dark Knight are not as different as they may appear. Batman and Iron Man share several common traits. They are both extremely wealthy, intelligent, and resourceful. They both also wield exceptional combat abilities and strategic thinking. However, their approaches to crime fighting differ significantly. Batman is a dark vigilante who operates outside the law. Iron Man, on the other hand, is a more public figure who is comfortable working with the government and other authorities. Nevertheless, their strong sense of justice and a desire to protect the innocent are what unite these two iconic superheroes. With such a concept as the invincible Iron Man taking on the Dark Knight detective, there are a lot of variables and factors involved. These two titans fighting would be on multiple fronts: physicality, mentality, and technological. With each front comes different things to keep in mind, as this fight would be far from one-sided. More additions to the variables have appeared over time, including more development of the DC Extended Universe Batman after the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Also, some factors from the comic book versions of these characters were implemented since they too would likely play a part in these versions. Before we begin the comparisons, let's first take a look at the strengths and weaknesses of both characters. Iron Man. Iron Man's strengths lie largely in his advanced technology. His suits of armor come equipped with a myriad of weapons, defensive measures, and artificial intelligence. The suits grant him superhuman strength, flight, and durability. Beyond his armor, Tony Stark's genius-level intellect allows him to innovate and adapt rapidly. Nevertheless, Iron Man's weaknesses include his reliance on the suit and ongoing struggles with personal demons, such as his past alcoholism and the emotional burden of being a hero. Additionally, his technology can sometimes be hacked or may simply malfunction, as seen most comically in Iron Man 3. Batman. Batman brings numerous strengths to the table. His martial arts expertise, detective skills, and strategic mind stand out. Equipped with a variety of gadgets and vehicles from the Batmobile to the Batarang, he's always prepared. His physical conditioning is at the peak of human potential. However, Batman is not without weaknesses. Unlike many of his counterparts, he lacks superpowers, which can put him at a disadvantage. His moral code against killing also limits his options in combat situations. Then there's the obvious Martha situation, but this is a serious video, so we'll just ignore that. Now that we're done with the intros, let's compare these two stalwarts across multiple factors. 1. Science. Both Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are rich people who are more than happy to splash the cash in order to make things happen. However, the difference between them is Tony Stark is incredibly scientific and is happy to create different things to help him. Tony Stark's ability to create different technology in a very short space of time will give Tony Stark an edge in a fight. Even as Tony Stark, he keeps many emergency repulsor and arc reactor weapons on his person. So, he's definitely the tech guru. 2. Physical strength. One major advantage that Batman certainly has over Iron Man is simply his physical strength and conditioning. Bruce Wayne constantly works out, keeps himself in tip-top condition, and develops an impressive fighting style because of that. Iron Man certainly has an ability to fight along as well, But if the two men got up close and personal, there's only one person coming out on top, and that is Batman. Only the likes of Deathstroke have been able to take on Batman and win. He is able to cope with the very best throughout his own movies, and he would be able to beat Iron Man as well. 3. Battle of Suits. Both Batman and Iron Man are, at their core, human. Unlike characters like Superman or Spider-Man, who possess superhuman abilities, Batman and Iron Man rely on the technology they've created to become heroes. Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark are among the richest individuals in their respective universes. Their fortunes enable them to fund their crime-fighting effort and create an astonishing array of gadgets and technologies. While it's true that Batman has the advantage of physical strength, it's a whole different story if they both fight in their suits. Tony Stark is known for constantly improving his suit. With his armor, he is nearly invincible. He has countless weapons, an extremely advanced computer navigation system, Jarvis, and healing abilities all at his disposal. On top of that, he can also fly. Batman's suit, on the other hand, is only bullet-resistant and nothing more. Plus, if he was to come up against the Hulkbuster suit, Batman wouldn't stand a chance even with his best tools. I mean, that suit was specifically designed to be able to cope with the strength of the Incredible Hulk, so it would be able to crush Batman with ease if the opportunity arose. 4. Batman's Bat-Vehicles. Even though Iron Man has an incredible suit to pull out of nowhere, Batman has his own gadgets and gizmos as well. Something that he has which will help him in a fight against Iron Man is his always iconic Batmobile, Batwing, and other vehicles Batman may have. The vehicles are always kitted out with amazing technology, and that could also help him against the Hulkbuster, but that's probably just me being hopeful for Bruce Wayne. Kitting it out with weapons, while also building it to be very defensive, would allow this to be both an attack and defense for him. The Batwing would likely be the ideal anti-Iron Man weapon, due to its quick speeds and maneuverability. There's another thing that's theoretically possible, which is hacking, although Iron Man's suits are equipped with advanced cybersecurity measures. Batman, being a genius hacker, might find a way given enough time, but it wouldn't be easy or guaranteed. However, when it comes to overall scoring, I'll have to put it in favor of Tony Stark for the gizmos. 5. Flight. One of the big advantages that Iron Man has over Batman is the fact that he can fly. While Batman is able to glide from high places, he can't actually shoot up into the air and fly around whenever he likes as Iron Man can, and that's a major advantage for the MCU character. Even against the Batwing, Iron Man is still faster and more agile. Whether it's flying away to avoid being attacked by Batman or to get a vantage point and cause damage to him while being away from a close distance, being able to fly is a huge advantage against anybody that cannot fly, and that's what would happen here. 6. Fighting abilities. While we have already covered the fact that Bruce Wayne is physically stronger than Tony Stark, he is also a much better fighter. Iron Man tends to rely upon his weapons where possible. Batman focuses on his fighting abilities, which would give him the edge in a brawl with the MCU hero. Batman is highly trained in fighting, and it is something that Iron Man just can't match him with, no matter how hard he tries. While both men have plenty of gadgets, sometimes a good old-fashioned fight is what's needed, which Batman would dominate. 7. Iron Man's Avengers. Iron Man is often considered by many people to be the leader of the Avengers. While Captain America also works as the leader, there's no doubt that Tony Stark is a major part of the group, and he would be able to call upon them to help him out if needed. Having the rest of the heroes come around to join him in the fight will be able to give him a major advantage in the fight against Batman. With a lot of different powers coming together with plenty of skills, it would likely become an overwhelming process for Batman. 8. Batman's Justice League. While Iron Man is able to bring in the Avengers to help him out where needed, Batman isn't exactly a solo fighter. While he goes about things on his own at plenty of points, the Dark Knight is also able to team up with just as many talented and powerful superheroes with the Justice League. Even though the group might be a little less experienced in fighting together, they are incredibly powerful. The team also happens to have Superman, who is arguably the most powerful superhero of all time, which might just tip the scales in Batman's favor. 9. Iron Man loves to solve problems. This is probably Iron Man's most underrated trait, but it is also one of his strongest. It might not be a specific power, of which he has plenty, but it is a true sign of intelligence. No matter what the situation is, Tony Stark is always logically thinking about what he needs to do to get out of it. He managed to escape a terrorist camp by thinking logically, which led to the start of Iron Man, and he has continuously done that throughout the MCU. He would no doubt be able to think logically to get him out of any situation, including a battle against the Dark Knight. 10. Batman is no less of a genius. Something that would potentially give Batman the edge against Iron Man is all of his gadgets. Batman always seems to have something new and innovative up his sleeve every time he appears, and he always gets to go away and create something that will work effectively. This ties into the fact that Bruce Wayne is not just a tough guy in a suit. Batman is a genius who develops as much of his own technology as characters like Lucius Fox do. This intellect also goes into his fighting style, allowing him to memorize fight patterns, discover weaknesses, and learn much about a person by simply watching them. In a way, he rivals Stark in the brains department, but the final products may not be as flashy as Tony's. 11. Moral values. Both Batman and Iron Man have strong moral codes that influence their actions. Batman avoids killing, which could limit his combat options. Iron Man, while more flexible, generally avoids lethal force unless absolutely necessary. These moral restrictions can impact their battle strategies and outcomes. Conclusion. In considering who would win in a majority of scenarios, several factors must be weighed. If the battle were to take place suddenly, without preparation time, Iron Man's superior firepower and technological resources might give him the upper hand. His suits provide both offensive and defensive advantages that Batman would struggle to counter in an unplanned confrontation. However, if Batman had time to prepare, his strategic mind and detective skills could significantly level the playing field. Batman's ability to develop countermeasures and exploit weaknesses, combined with his hand-to-hand combat skills, would increase his chances considerably. In a hypothetical face-off, Iron Man might win a majority of immediate, unprepared battles due to his technological superiority. Still, Batman's preparedness and strategic prowess could allow him to win in scenarios where he has time to plan. Ultimately, based on their strengths, weaknesses, and abilities, Iron Man is marginally more likely to win the majority of scenarios due to his overwhelming technological edge. However, never count Batman out of the fight, especially if he has time to prepare. Like, share, and subscribe if you like these topics and want me to cover more of them. Feel free to share some suggestions in the comments below. Okay then, I'll see you soon.